Hello everyone, it is me, BDB, and it is currently 12 minutes past 11, and I have work there on today, but I can't sleep, so I decided to do a recording. So we're here with Danganronpa, again, plot 15, and also we found a Robo Justice. Is Hiro really Robo Justice? Let's find out now. Kyoko, and man, I've had the worst day. Hiro? Hiro?
Huh? Oh, hey, Makoto.
Yeah, duh, who else would it be? That's a good question. Huh? What? Why do I look like this? So come along, we bothered you while I was sleeping? Wasn't the Illuminati? Robo Justice finally made his appearance, huh? I guess Kyoko's the one that found him. Of course, yucky ass. Apparently, my ridiculous object is Hiro. I'd ask Kyoko for the details if I read. I am positive that it is that he's the suspicious individual of the action. I found Hiro. He was jammed into the pool of moonlight. It looked like he was fast asleep, so I kicked him and woke him up.
Don't be
I
mean!
still can't believe you kicked me. You could have been a little more gentle about it, like, I don't know, caress his face or something.
What?
That's creepy. Anyway, Kyoko, where have you been all this time? You just disappeared all of a sudden without a trace. There was something I had to check up on. What do you mean? Never mind. Never mind. More importantly, she said that, but does she have any idea? Does she know people think she might be fighting for the mastermind?
And?
First of all, Hiro, you need to explain to us why you're dressed like that.
I
have no idea. One second, I was saying, don't even know how that happened. Then I woke up and then I was here. I don't care. Do something about that costume. Pains me just to look at it. Well,
let me out of
here!
here!
But I can't actually get it all. A little help? Why would you make something that you can't take off by yourself?
I got it all wrong!
Stupid friggin' thing.
It would seem...
There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off. That's pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. I get it if you get it on by yourself. We don't really have a choice, that's it. With everyone's help, slowly we were able to get Hiro out of the suit. For a few minutes, but eventually we all got the pieces off. Whew, free at last. Isn't it kind of weird how perfectly the suit fits Hiro?
So then...
Nobody but Hiro would be able to wear that costume. Wait, what? Hold on a second. Honestly. Trying to act innocent. The blueprints were in your room as well.
Is that okay?
It is obvious to everyone that you made the costume. That's true. I saw the blueprints myself. Yeah, me too.
Could it be...
The one who put the costume on and went around attacking everyone.
That's terrible!
Shall we tie him up and gag him?
Just the worst.
Good idea. We wouldn't want him killing anyone else. What? Tie me up? Hold on, guys. I think that's going a little far.
That's right.
Maybe a suspect, but he does fair treatment. Yeah, I mean, attacking? I have no idea what you guys are on about.
What the heck?
You can't talk way out of this. It's been decided. You killed them.
Please!
I have no idea what you're talking about. There must be a fake hero running around.
What are you saying?
You're the only one who can wear this costume. So who else could possibly be the costumed attacker?
What the heck?
You know I'm the only one. Maybe you should try it out for yourself before you convict me. Fine.
Okay.
Be sure about I will. Without missing a bit, should be a beat. Hina started putting on Robo Justice costume.
Huh! See? Look! See how loose it is? I mean, come on.
What, you're bigger than him? Arms and everything?
I'm blind as a bat in here. Can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing.
I'm telling you, it wasn't me!
And not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious
Now bend at
oversight.
the waist.
That's not a very nice thing to say. I mean, it's not like I made it. I just got caught up in the moment.
Well, either way, now we know for sure, right? I mean, it seems pretty clear that nobody but Hiro could have fit into this dumb costume.
In a huff, Hina tucked the suit back off again. Well, now you're all out of excuses. Because it's your girl. If it was another guy, then... Makoto, go ahead. Oh, okay. Against my will, I picked up pieces off the floor and tried putting them on. Still good. The arms are too long. There's no way I can wear this.
Just a
I
second!
told you it was impossible. You're absolutely right. It seems this costume wasn't made to fit Hiro's body exactly.
But
There's another costume. They must have one that looks the same, but fits them. If you insist on
Honestly.
this language difference, then show us some evidence.
what the heck?
You claim there's another suit, yes? Then you must find it and show it to us. What the heck?
Just the worst.
Who cares? Hiro was the only one without an alibi during this whole thing anyway. Which is
That's
how we know
terrible.
it was him. What? Is that really true? I have no idea what's happening. Can someone, tell me? Global Justice costume has been added to the True Bullet section.
What the heck?
Tell me what's going on. How am I supposed to understand? Bro. I think I figured out that someone's been killed, right? Hey, Makoto, who was it? Well, two people were killed. Taka and Hifu. What? Two people? Why
Just
you
the
freaking out?
worst.
You didn't.
Please!
Wait, hold on. Those two are the ones that were killed.
How about that?
Who did it?
So then.
Technically, we were fighting over ego, right?
I'm at least 30% right.
Correct.
See, that's unfortunate.
Please!
Stop trying to
What the
trick
heck?
us. Just admit that you did it, okay? I'm telling you, you got it all wrong.
Oh, so then.
Nose? That's like someone slipped a window under my door. And here's what I said. I found a hole maybe we can use to escape. Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m. The last thing I remember is going to the rec room, then for some reason I fell asleep. The real killer probably drugged me or something.
Just
Not
the
a check.
worst. So,
Let's be honest with you. The nurse's office did have chemicals that could keep. Huh? Really? I told you, someone's trying to set me up. The secret passage, a chance to escape, someone wrote all that to trick me. Knowing if that's true, you must be one dumb fish to bite every piece of bait that floats in front of you. Why would be trapped here so long, even if you know it's a lie? You still gotta check, right? I'm trying to make this out of here. It deceived me. I still don't bite.
Don't
Well,
be
you should
mean!
bite. Where's the nose?
just a
Okay,
second.
you show us that note. With pleasure. I have it right here in my pocket.
No way!
Looks like I lost it. Yeah, sure. I would hurt a fly. As I said before, if you want us to believe you, you must produce evidence. Can you show us what you know? I have no particular issue with what you claim, but if you want us to believe you, give us a reason. Yes, Hiro's account. Now then, shall we resume our investigation? There's no time to waste before the class trial begins. Why do we need to keep investigating? We already know who did it. Why?
What the
Why did
heck?
you kill him? Tell us, Hiro.
No,
it's like I said.
Just the
We need
worst.
to get the money Monokuma offered us? Yeah, that must be it. You must be totally broken, that's why.
please!
Someone help me.
What are you saying?
Thankful we haven't found and gagged you. If you have time to yell and carry on, you have time to search for your evidence, right? You're right. I need to go look for that second suit on that note. Feet don't fail me now. I guess I better get back to guard duty. I'm gonna ask Toko, or translate Jack to switch with me. But if she and Sakura got into a fight, we'd have a catastrophe on our hands. Oh, brain work, please. Bye bye. One by one, everyone peeled away.
Makoto.
Do you have a second? Huh? I want you to help me with the investigation. It looks like I got a late start on this one, so I need to make up some ground. Sure, I don't mind helping, but can you promise me something? Later when we have time, will you tell me why you disappeared?
Why is that?
It did me so simply.
Anyway.
You don't mind, do you? Okay, can I explain this?
Shall we go?
Thanks. Now then, shall we?
Hey.
So, Makoto, first I'd like to examine the corpses. Examine the corpses? I can't believe I'm hearing that from a girl the same age as me. Dead bodies don't lie, you know. They tell the truth far more easily than living. Wouldn't you agree? How am I supposed to answer? Anyway. Before the class trial begins. Yeah, you're right. Okay then, show me where the bodies are. They're in the repository. I guess we should head that way for now. Oh yeah, the one time you just couldn't walk up yourself, you lady. Onwards we go! Kill someone for $10 million? If you could get away with it, would you do it? Let me know down in the comments down below. Hiro and Saka. For a moment, Kyoko seemed to go rigid. Only for a moment. Well then, let's get started. She crouched down next to Taka and without hesitation began poking and prodding their bodies.
I knew it.
The Monokuma was right. They were killed using similar weapons. Her movements were so smooth, she was so calm. Seeing how comfortable she was actually made me feel a little more comfortable. The biggest problem I have right now is how the kid was able to move beneath a massive corpse. From the nurse's office where he discovered to here the repository. All the way from the first floor to the third floor. And all without anyone noticing. I just can't see how that's possible. Further, it seems that Hiro died from a blow to the head. He was most likely killed using just hammer 3, which we found in the nurse's office. But when we found his body in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered in blood. But now they're spotless. Does that mean someone wiped his glasses clean? But who would do that? And why? Makoto,
I see.
I found something. You did? You remember the wristwatch Taka always wore on his left hand? You did? Are you so envious to the people around you? Do you dislike other people that much? I didn't notice. Who cares? Get over it. No, that's not it. Yeah, so you said he had a watch. Take a look.
So then.
Broke and 6. It's broken. You can see the hands aren't moving, right? He most likely broke when he had his encounter with the assailant. And if you notice, the hands are frozen at just past 6 o'clock. So that would mean the watch was broken sometime just after 6.
That's right.
Last night, Taka's watch definitely wasn't broken. How much is this watch? Hey, you! How long are we gonna keep us waiting? Taka's irritated voice clears the air as he stared intently at his wristwatch. So it's 10 o'clock, you know that. Bedtime for all little boys and girls.
In other
So
words,
if it worked at 10 last night, it couldn't have been broken at 6 p.m. I mean, it must have happened at 6 this morning. Broken wristwatch has been added to the true bullet section of your handbook.
however,
And that's not all. Look at Taka's left hand. He appears to be gripping something. You're right, there's something white in there. Can you try
Makoto.
and pry it out? Me? Rigor mortis
Because-
has already set in. Boys are better suited to this kind of manual labor, right? Sexist much? Women can do it just as well, I'd say. Oh, okay. As much as I didn't want to, I grabbed Takaga's cold hand. The ice cold hand was nearly enough to cause my heart to stop beating. After some effort, I was finally able to free the object from his tightly clenched fist. A piece of paper.
Hey,
Was that all he had in his hand? Yep, that's it. Just a little scrap of paper. Doesn't seem like much of a clue, does it? I
is
wonder
that
if
right?
Kyoko then turned to Kizumi's body. That should
So
be
then-
reply now. Perhaps he left us a few clues of his own. Kiyotaka's scrap of paper. Okay, God. Yeah, I get it. I thought this was gonna just no. So, did you find anything? I did.
Indeed.
More than I expected, to be honest. Look at this. A wad of paper. He
That's
had
right.
it hidden on him. Hidden. He
Indeed.
stuffed it in his pants, so I can only assume he hidden it on purpose. You see. His pants. Wait. So you. It
Why
was
is
his
that?
Pants, not like his socks or something. I don't know what that means. Anyway,
Hey.
let's take a look at the paper. Go ahead and record it open up. It's my pockets are acting. When I think of how it was stuffed down his pants, it's like, alright, it was down his pants. It better be important to me or I'll never forgive you for this. I know, I found a hole, maybe you can use escape, not too much can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room at 6 a.m. The equipment room. Hiro has said his, said the rec room. I found a hole, maybe we can use escape, not we can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the equipment room, that's him. That
So-
sounds very familiar. That's it, it's the same thing Hiro said. Then he was telling us the truth. Although
However-
it's not exactly the same, is it? Unless there's some simple weird note under my door. And here's what it said. Found a hole, maybe we used to escape. What if we can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room by 1 a.m. The time is different. And the place. Hiro told us his note said to meet at 1 a.m. But the note they wrote to give me asked to meet at 6 a.m. I don't think it was written to give me.
Is that right?
Have a note doesn't mean it was meant to him. Huh? Our
So-
bat's been torn off, right? I think there's likely some meaning there. There's some meaning to part of it being ripped. Could you maybe explain it as a... Dennis, oh my god. Think carefully.
Hey,
Why would he have been clutching that scrap of paper so tightly? I have no idea.
so
What
then,
if it wasn't just a scrap of paper when he was holding it? What if it was something more important? And how would something important like that become a mere scrap of paper? That's what you need to answer. The note he even had, woohoo! And while
Hey.
we're at it, I should tell you one other thing. The two victims this time definitely had their e-handbooks on them. So the handbooks have nothing to do with how the murders were carried out. Not that there was any reason to think they were connected to the killings in the first place. So you're saying I don't have to think about the handbooks this time, right?
is that right?
If you didn't have to think about them at all, I wouldn't have gone out of my way to mention it. All I said was that they weren't used to carry out the murders. There may come a point, however, where a handbook may play a role. A handbook may play a role? I don't think I understand. If Kyoko thinks it's important, I'd better keep it in mind. The handbook has been added to the true bullets. Ding dong! Bing bong! Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Are you excited? Are you pumped? It's time for the class trial to begin!
Yeah, why?
Like the bright burst of fireworks, like the flash of a soul clashing with life and death. And so, with no further ado, Everyone, please meet at the usual spot.
Yes, sir, Bobby.
Make your way to the red door on the first floor of the school. See you soon.
Let's do it.
It would
It's
seem...
unfortunate, but I suppose this is where our investigation comes to an end. You'll have to figure out the rest for yourself and come to the proper conclusion. Yeah, you're right. Well,
Shall we go?
better get going. Okay. Okay, Kyoko, I'll follow you. Looks like you're just gonna go in there with the rest of them. Everyone had heard Monokuma's proclamation, and they were gathered by the red door. As soon as we were all there...
Monokuma appears!
Hello! Is it multiplied?
Wrong.
No, multiplication. It just looks that way because of an illusion. I'm moving so fast it only looks like I multiplied. Can you guys tell which one is the real Monokuma? Can we just get on the elevator already?
Boy,
Been
tough
around
crowd.
a long.
Stop talking.
We're not here to play with you.
Okay. Hey,
Then, if everyone's here and ready to go, please board the pain train elevator. I'll see you guys down there.
Let's
Okay,
go.
Shall we? Oh, hold on. I'm not mentally prepared yet. You'll never be mentally prepared. You can't run away anymore, Hiro. You're gonna pay for your sins.
What the heck?
I didn't do it. For serious. That reminds me. Did you ever find the other costume? Or get out? Well, no, but how unfortunate. Then it would seem we have our culprit.
Hey,
This isn't the place to talk about it. Save your accusations for when we get to the courtroom.
That's right.
To get down there first, then the story can really begin. Yeah, good idea. That's right. I have to do it. I can't let whoever killed Heath Taka get away with it. For everyone who's still alive, and for the two that lost their lives. The one who killed Hifumi and Taka, the one who killed two of our friends, the killer is someone right here. It would appear the culprit has been confirmed. This trial will be over in no time.
damn.
Don't like Monokuma's carefree attitude.
Just the
Let's
worst.
hurry up and go so we can make Hiro pay for his crimes. Were you listening? Wait till we get to the courtroom and begin your argument. It wasn't me. I believe me. Come on,
Yes,
Big Mac, let's do it.
hey,
The story begins when we get down there. Earshot. I took one last deep breath and exhaled slowly. I began to walk toward the elevator. Once everyone was aboard, it started to go down. The doors closed on their own and a steel box began to move. The clunking of the elevator kept us company as we fell further and further down. There was no going back. Until we settled all this, we couldn't go anywhere. I'm not sure how long it was before the elevator finally came to a stop. The elevator doors slid open, opening up onto a cruel fate. When I see all of you gathered together like this, I realize just how few of you there are left. Your school life is slowly reaching its climax.
just
Only
the
for
worst.
you. Why are you making us do such cruel things to each other?
What?
What? You really hate me so much. I'm so cute.
Come on.
I'm beginning the trial. Don't rush me. Calling on the starters. I would never be like, stay tuned for an action-packed fast trial after this commercial break. You never hold it on you like that. Okay, let's begin. Get your assigned seats. Until the curtain opens once again. Deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly hate, a deadly religion, a deadly fast trial. Do you want to say the dead? I would love to save the data. I love saving data. It's great. Said skills. Awesome. We have a melodious voice. Like, we're already using these, yeah? We are. I don't think there's anything else. Nope, there's not. The handbook, no need to. Okay, yeah, finished preparations. Let's do this.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the result. If you can figure out who, then I'll punish everyone. Now then.
We already know who did it.
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit. Don't try and deny it! You killed them!
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
How are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it. And all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know, I don't know, I don't know!
Is Hiro really the killer? Or for anything else, we have to make a case. Make your arguments! Hiro's missing.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
I don't know anything about that stuff! It's not true, it's a conspiracy!
Hiro, why?
Oh, sorry. Didn't do it.
Why did you kill them?
No! Just hold on a second!
I mean, looking at the blueprints, the hammering is awfully messy. If I remember right, Hiro's
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
It's not true! It's
Hiro, why?
No! Just hold on a second!
Everything we found in your... The blueprints, the suit parts...
How the hell do I shoot again?
They are all proof enough that you are the culprit.
Good. No.
I don't know anything about it! It's not true! It's
Hiro, why?
No! Just hold on a second!
Everything we found in your... The blueprints, the suit parts...
No, it's wrong!
Are we sure Hiro really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hiro wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say? When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
So Makoto, are you saying you don't think Hiro's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hiro's innocent as well.
What?
Then who was in that Robo Justice suit?
What if it wasn't the person in it?
Is it like Hiro said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
And of course he passes it off to me.
So? Who was in the Robo Justice
Hiro.
suit?
The individual in question is Hiro.
I got it! Other than Hiro, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit, and we never found any kind of second suit.
Then there can be no doubt. Hiro is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hiro didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hiro was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
That's right. The culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo Justice
Gotta
suit.
be out here.
What? Now that's a bold assumption. And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes.
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around!
All things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body. It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
Dude, just say it for once in your life.
I got it!
There's still one more thing. The dolly.
I got it!
The dolly is the tarp.
They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
We have to.
So, let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room. And then we rediscovered it in the repository. And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right?
No, it was on a blue tarp, not wrapped. You found it when it wrapped.
It was the same tarp that, up until then, was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there, and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Why?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly. Later, when Taka's body reappeared in the repository, so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right?
Yes.
But are you sure you are not mistaken?
I'm mistaken.
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
Blood on the wheel.
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong, and nobody expects much from you anyway. We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
Wow, I've never heard anyone seem so nice about being so mean, but maybe I can change my mind. And to them, when the dolly must have been moved from the equipment room to the repository. Movement has been added to the bulletin valve. Would you hear more? Yeah, sure, why not? If you like watching. Let's talk about reloading. Starting with the next bullet time battle, we're going to add one more ingredient to the recipe. On the bottom of the screen, underneath the tempo marker, you'll see your ammo count. Up until now, there hasn't really been a limit on how you destroy your opponent's damage. But from now on, just locking on and pressing triangle won't be enough to handle them. Now it will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can't destroy any more statements, no matter how locked on you are. However, you can reload by pressing the square button. Just like locking on, you'll have to press square each time with tempo marker. Basically, just remember that the square button now has a function along with the next right. You'll automatically reload at the start of fever time, and your ammo will not decrease. Oh, but if your action difficulty is set to gentle, you won't have to reload at all. In which case, you can ignore everything I just said. Well then, good luck and have fun. Okay, sure. The truth. Alright.
You have it wrong. I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you. You miserable wretch! I cannot agree! You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch! You have it wrong! I cannot agree! You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you! You miserable wretch! I cannot agree!
This should prove it.
So let's test.
If you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly in the repository, one of the wheels had a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's tread. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Boom. Jesus, that really hit me that much.
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Know, obviously. If I look at how the body was moved, it'll be clear what the person in the suit couldn't have done it. Oh, what did you mean by that? The person's down there, and the person in the suit couldn't do instant movement to grab the suit.
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
God's sake. Yeah, I know, that is correct. For God's sake.
As we know, and from there...
Yeah, then loaded it onto the...
Now,
keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah.
There we go.
But even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
No, it's wrong! You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Really?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together. Remember?
I'm running this button here, can't see my feet at all. I'm surprised you got anywhere in this thing. I'm telling you, it wasn't me. Not to mention, you can't bend it away, seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible! Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Well, I mean, isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
There's no chance of caution working on your smooth body. You can't take it off by yourself!
I got it! I don't think taking off the suit was an option. If you remember...
I don't know what's up with this thing, but I can't actually get it off. A little help? Why would you make something that you can't take off by yourself? I can do this little friggin' thing. There's a clasp on the back that's keeping you from getting it off, and it's pretty sturdy. I don't think you can get it off on your own. You don't have to take this
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hiro wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
If he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right!
So, it's really, really true that Robo Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
To be clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hiro in the robot suit, correct?
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took? You all got a good look at it, did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did you get hurt? That guy hit me. What guy? Robo Justice, that's what I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hiro, without a doubt. Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Hold on a second!
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion. Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility? Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume.
How did you take the picture, though?
As it turns out, it was Robo Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo Justice had abducted Hifumi. We were soon joined in our search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office...
What's wrong? I thought there was someone moving around at the top of the stairs.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, a strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs so he hadn't further down into the hallway and disappeared.
and then...
Huh? Oh, it's that. That came from downstairs. It must have been me. He's in the nurse's office. Back, Mom. We have to go back. Oh, yeah.
At that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the three of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us. And she told us something very surprising. We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
This can't be happening. Are we losing all this or something?
But when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally
If you really
complicated.
listen to it, it really sounds really obvious.
It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Contradictions hidden in what happened to Taka. In order to uncover the truth of this case, I have to find him no matter what.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi.
The cause of death for each of the close death characters is thought that they were both killed in a row.
Or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Looking at my hand, the cause of death for each of the both characters is thought that they were both killed with a similar weapon.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died, or perhaps it was after.
We already know what order they were. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
I have no idea what's going on, so, alright?
So, I wonder if, or perhaps it was. We already know what order they were killed in.
Shoot!
So, I wonder if he, or perhaps it was. We already know Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the.
It's true that Hifumi was while Taka's death came.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
Ah, Christ. I hate that thing.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after. So, I wonder if he, or perhaps it was. We already know Taka came last.
What makes you say that?
Because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was
Killed with while Taka's death.
See? So it's obvious Taka came.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
No, it's wrong!
Again, explain things again.
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in the same order as their numbers. If anything, That's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi? Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence that Taka was killed before Hifumi. There's something that relates to what time we must have. Oh, wait, watch. This says, well, God, watch, wrist.
Now I understand. I've got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night...
Watch it. Yeah, we're erasing this.
So if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder. But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe. When we heard Hifumi screaming, we were all together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko. Then we all ran down to the nurse's office, and that's where we found his body. That's totally true! We're all in the clear!
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up!
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream. Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing. Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
Even if she could pull that off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body. Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway. In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how. In particular, I think we need to figure out how Hifumi's body got moved.
That's true. We searched everywhere, but we couldn't figure out how to explain his body disappearing. And according to what Celeste said,
we could not have gotten more than 2 minutes, so then the killer was able to get in and move his body in a short amount of time. It would seem so.
his body apparently disappeared in the 1 minute her and Hina took their eyes off of it. But to carry that much weight from the first floor up to the third in that short amount of time?
Oh man, yeah! There's no way! It'd be impossible!
Well, what if I told you there was a way to make the impossible possible?
What?
If the dead body were to move itself.
Wash it, dead walking.
The dead body moved on its own?
No! Not another... Go!
I don't think it has anything to do with the occult. I think what she's implying is we thought Hifumi was dead, but perhaps in reality he was still alive.
He was alive?
Are you saying Hifumi wasn't carried out of the nurse's office, but simply walked out on his own?
Did anyone else play
But I mean, we found his body. He was dead.
Perhaps he was simply playing dead.
That it isn't possible.
I thought Hifumi was still alive. Is it possible? Yes. Did you not mention blood? Because it makes sense.
Are you saying that when we first found Hifumi in the nurse's office, there's a chance he was actually still alive?
No, it is impossible. Hifumi was dead, without a doubt.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found. And that is why the announcement was made.
Are we really so sure about maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery?
Are you saying that when we first... there's a chance he...
No, Hifumi was dead, and you know that. Surely you heard the body to Hifumi's dead, and that is...
Are we really... Maybe the announcement was intended to signal someone else's discovery.
Are you saying that when we first... there's a chance he...
No, Hifumi was dead.
And you know that how?
Surely you heard the body discovery announcement along with the rest of us. Hifumi's dead body had been found.
No, what's wrong?
Remember Taka? You forget about him.
Was the body discovery announcement that was made really intended for Hifumi?
Of course it was. The announcement played right after we discovered his body.
Other stuff.
Maybe. But that was also the same time that Taka's body was found.
That's right. It wasn't long after finding his body that we heard the announcement.
So there's a good chance we've made a mistake in there somewhere. I think we've confused whether the announcement was for Hifumi or Taka.
First of all, if 2 bodies had been found, there really should have been 2 announcements.
Maybe Monokuma simply got lazy and rolled them together into one.
What do you say, Monokuma? Any comment?
Well, it's a very sensitive issue, so I can't go into too much detail. But what I can say about the body discovery announcement is that it's only broadcast when 3 or more people find a dead body for the first time.
That didn't answer our question, man. We're asking if you're a lazy bum.
No, actually, that was plenty. Huh? He said it's only broadcast when a body is discovered for the first time, which means even if we find the same body again later, he won't make the announcement again. If that's true, then why was the announcement made again later on?
Later on?
Exactly. We heard the body discovery announcement twice.
The second body discovery announcement. First time it was played when we found each body in the nurse's office and the equipment room. The second time was when the bodies were rediscovered.
I got it! We heard it a second time in the repository when we rediscovered the 2 bodies.
Ding dong, ding dong. A body has been discovered. And a certain amount of time which you may use. How to revive it will begin.
It didn't seem weird at the time.
Yeah.
But it contradicts what Monokuma just told us, doesn't it?
Exactly. If we were actually rediscovering both bodies, the announcement shouldn't have played.
Then in reality, when the two dead bodies were rediscovered, one of them was actually being discovered for the first time.
So, when we found Hifumi the first time in the nurse's office, he wasn't actually dead yet. Meaning, he wasn't actually found dead until we came upon him in the repository.
And that's just part of it. There's one other thing that leads me to believe he was still alive in the nurse's office.
Oh, I know! Because he was super good at playing dead! Bada bing, bada boom! That is the worst logic I have ever heard. But honestly, I do not think there's anything that can prove he was still alive.
Okay then, let's take another look at the events surrounding the discovery of his body. Then it should become clear whether he was really alive or not.
This whole thing is pointless.
There has to be proof that shows me he was still alive. I have to find it and show it to everyone. Make your argument. These glasses.
Well, here's one thing we do know. The first time we found Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office. And then, while me and Celeste were in the bathroom, his body disappeared.
And the next time we saw his body, it was in the repository.
But when you compare his body before being moved and his body after being moved, other than the change in how it was positioned, there was no notable difference.
No, that's wrong! In fact, there was one clear difference between Hifumi in the nurse's office and the repository.
There's also more blood, I think.
His glasses.
Possibly.
That fact alone proves that he was only playing dead in the beginning.
Perhaps you'd like to fill the rest of us in?
When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But when we found him again later in the repository, they were spotless. And I found the item he used to wipe them clean in the nurse's office trash can.
That's there when we found him. There's a can,
I got it! It was a glasses cleaning cloth featuring a certain cartoon mascot. One look at the bloodstain on the cloth should make things clear.
Yup.
This piece of cloth was used to wipe Hifumi's glasses clean. And the mascot on the cloth is the same one that's on the digital camera, right? And whose digital camera was it? Hifumi's, of course.
The character was Princess Piggles. From Demon Angel Pretty Pudgy Princess, I think.
I highly doubt anyone but Hifumi would have brought something like this to school.
I see your point. And the only people here who wear glasses are...
I wouldn't be caught dead using a tacky piece of garbage like that.
A few tissues is all I need to keep my glasses clean.
I don't think it was me either!
Then there's no question. It belonged to Hifumi.
So what you're saying is... What exactly?
What I'm saying is, the blood on his glasses was wiped away using his own glasses cleaning cloth.
Even if that is true, it does not mean he wiped the blood off himself.
But who would benefit from a clean pair of glasses other than the glasses owner?
That's a good point.
Well, it must have been him, right?
Yep.
So let's assume that Hifumi was still alive in the nurse's office. He pretends to be dead. Then when he's alone, he wipes his glasses clean so he can see. Then he stands up and walks out on his own 2 feet. And with that, the impossible task of moving his copious corpse becomes possible, wouldn't you say?
Indeed.
But then, if he was just pretending to be dead, what was with all that blood? Was it paint or something?
There's blood.
The fridge in the nurse's office contains packs of blood for emergencies. He probably used one of those.
He figured if he was gonna play dead, he should go all out, so he just dumped it everywhere! But he got crazy with it and had to wipe his glasses off when he was done! God, what an idiot!
And if Hifumi was still alive at that point, the disappearance of Taka's body is easily explained. It should be perfectly obvious who must have moved Taka's corpse.
Taka's body was Taka himself!
I got it! It could only have been Hifumi.
While we were all gathered in the nurse's office, he went to the equipment room and took Taka's body.
That also explains how the door to the repository got locked.
The door was locked?
Kyoko.
Well, after the bodies disappeared, we all went looking for them, right? So me and Sakura headed for the repository. But when we got there, the door was locked.
And the repository door can only be locked from the inside. Which means when Hina and Sakura got to the repository, someone was already inside.
And it could only have been Hifumi, who just finished stashing Taka's body there.
He convinced us all he was dead, and when he saw his chance, he dragged Taka's body to the repository. So, Hifumi wasn't just another victim in this case. He was one of the assailants.
Ooh, Hifumi
But
boy.
that means he took part in the murders.
Yup.
I just can't believe it.
If you're having trouble, would you like me to show you one more piece of evidence?
What?
There's more?
Oh, absolutely. The single biggest fact pointing to his involvement has yet to be revealed.
Why more?
You know what I'm talking about, right, Makoto? The item he took off of Taka's lifeless body?
Thing that he stole from Taka. Put it away, put it away, put it away. I know that Hifumi had.
I got it! You're talking about the note Hifumi had hidden away, aren't you?
Hidden note?
And
That's right. We found it stuffed in his pants.
What? In his pants?
Yes, his pants.
Okay, well, forget about the pants for now. Take a look at what the note says.
went home, maybe you escape. My camera can't find out, so don't tell anyone else. For now, let's meet in the corner.
That's the note I was telling you about. The one that told me where to
Not
go.
the exact one.
Huh? Wait, this one's a little
You know
different.
the difference.
In my note it said, Monokuma can't find out, so don't tell anyone else for now. Let's meet in the rec room at 1 a.m.
See, then this note isn't the same one Hiro got.
It's not the same?
No, but you.
In other words, the killer got in touch with another person besides Hiro. And that person could only have been...
Give me pants.
I got it! That's right! Taka! The killer used this note to draw out Taka and murder him.
Hello? Over here! Objection! Objection!
What?
I don't really understand what's going on, but Hifumi had that letter, right?
Yes.
So whoever wrote it wasn't drawing out TikTok, they were drawing out Happy!
Just to be clear, TikTok is Taka and Huffy is Hifumi, right?
Ugh! Yes! Why must you ruin it every time?
And it's like Jill is she's scary, but still, I can't let her get to me.
Happy had the note, right? Then the person it was intended for must have been Happy!
But remember what the note said. What time did it say to meet?
6 a.m., I believe.
The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok! Happy had the note, and the person it was supposed to have been Happy!
But remember, what time did it...
6 a.m. The time doesn't matter! The note has nothing to do with TikTok!
No, it's wrong!
You're murdering. Don't.
No, there absolutely is a connection.
What the hell are you talking about?
The note said to meet at 6 a.m., which is the same time Taka was murdered. We've already proven that using his wristwatch. But there's more. Look where the note says to meet. The equipment room, right?
Which is where Taka was killed. I see.
So, Taka was murdered at both the time and place written in the note. I think that should be plenty to show that this note was definitely meant for Taka.
Well, when you put it like that... No further objections!
Let's just get those fingers.
Then someone used that note to trick Taka. Just the same as me.
Oh, yes.
The culprit really is a cold-blooded monster. Telling people they found a way out.
But if they gave the note to Taka, what was Hifumi doing with it?
Stuffed down his pants, no less!
Hiding it.
Most likely, Hifumi stole it off Taka's corpse after he died.
Huh? He stole it?
Yes.
Where's your proof? Go ahead, show us.
I got it! When I searched Taka's body, I saw that his lifeless hand was gripping a small scrap of paper. If I'm right about this, the sheet of paper this piece came from is... I knew it! It fits perfectly with the note we found hidden on Hifumi.
Then Taka's scrap and Hifumi's note.
Yup, they're from the same piece of paper.
Hifumi had the note meant for Taka, while Taka's corpse still grasped a small piece of that note. There's only one way to explain it.
Taka died clutching the note. Hifumi tried to free the note from his death grip, leaving behind only one small scrap. Did I get all that right?
That means Hifumi knew the note was important.
Exactly. Which proves that he was an accomplice in the murder.
Whoa. Yeah. After seeing all this, Hifumi was super involved in this whole thing for sure. In fact, he was behind the whole thing. In fact, he's still alive.
Sorry, no. When we found him in the repository, Hifumi was truly and completely
No,
dead.
that's not true.
The second body discovery announcement proves that.
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind.
He was killed in the repository. So he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together.
Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
What's that?
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file,
Ooh.
the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all.
Right.
But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right? So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi, then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
Wow.
He's right, though. I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers?
Who said they went back to get a hammer?
Personally, I haven't a clue.
No one went back to
So
get a hammer.
which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
That doesn't matter.
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Keep attacking.
Then...
I know.
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
No.
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing,
Exactly,
right?
that's what it says.
So then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
The weapon that was actually used to kill Hifumi, the whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. Somehow I have to find the
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
Well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely? How did nobody witness them carrying it?
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
Ah, but I wanted to agree, but this is arguing. Oh my god, I have to grab this one right now.
What was used? Was it maybe Justice?
Well, there's one. How was the culprit? How did nobody...
Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers! And...
No, he's wrong! The murder weapon wasn't a Justice Hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
No, it was still a hammer.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill
It's still a
Hifumi.
hammer. Still saying it's still a hammer weapon.
Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean. And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones.
What ones, Digimon, Puerto Rican?
I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being similar.
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
Whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder. So the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. I think that's what we thought at first. But...
Based on...
They were both killed with similar weapons, so yeah, it's still a hammer. Similar weapons.
The rules that have been laid out for us, even if more than one person is complicit in the murder, only the one who actually carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out, even if more than one person, only the one who actually carried out, assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained.
But that only really applies. In this case, however, there were two murders.
Based on the rules that have been laid out, even if more than one person, only the one who actually carried out the act can assuming the rule holds true.
No, it's wrong!
Start of the whole thing.
Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you.
Yeah, we know.
However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful! How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
No, it seems like perfectly. Effort made to convince us. The two murders were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. He took a much more step back from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look as it's connected to the events are like the entire stuff. So it really is amazing. Oh no! Thinking about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost a knack of how good she is.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved. But then, who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
I know.
That's problem numero uno right now!
The killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions and an agent for murder. In the debate up to now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, we only have something fish.
Here's my answer.
Celeste.
It was Celeste.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
I'm not joking.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi.
Yes, because he would do anything for you.
The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit from brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot! Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that
It's
so?
like you've been everywhere. And
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
What is it?
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush, the adults are talking now.
Fuck you, motherfuckers.
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
Ding ding ding! Love it,
After
love it.
taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said? We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
That's what's wrong. That was right. Something like, yeah, oh my god, alright, we're racing this. For God's sake.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
It was to get us to divide into two groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Then why don't we split into two groups? The hunting party, that seems more interesting. Okay, cool.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected.
And she took Asahina out of the room so Hifumi can move.
And on top of that, that piercing cry of yours early on. That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we are on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead.
I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed.
No, right? Just like your fucking face.
Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
Look to your left.
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
Go on.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
I'm really enjoying this. I'm enjoying the state of us standing around fighting other teenagers. We're all going to die here. We're all going to die just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
She didn't know Taka was dead yet, did she?
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the 4 of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead.
Even I didn't pick up on that.
Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I
Should've known
don't
Taka
really
was
get what it
dead,
means.
dude.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Like I said, this comment doesn't make sense. So, what is he alluding to? Wow!
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened, and they must be positively... We are all going to die here. We are going to die. Just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Oh, come on, you channel.
All I said, they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die. And that is.
And that's all it takes.
What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
No, what the hell do you want to call file for me? She's in there. It never changed.
All I said, they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are going to die. Just like those guys. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes.
What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Oh, boy. Hey, it's
All
gonna
I
change.
said, they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are all going to die here. We are going to die. Just like those. And that is.
And that's all it takes to finish it. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said was they must really be enjoying the sight of us standing around. They must be. We are all going to die. We are going to die, just like those guys died. And that is.
And that's all it takes.
What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
It's definitely not that.
Shoot!
So
All I said they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are all going to. We are going to die. And that is.
And that's all it takes to finish this. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
All I said was they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are all going to die. We are going to die, just like.
No, that's wrong.
It's not working at all.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
Come on.
You all have such vivid imaginations.
gosh.
You know that?
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took? How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
It has to be some kind of setup, right?
Yeah.
So let's put the suit on. And then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit. Plus, I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away. If everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist? Simple.
Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
No, there is no other explanation.
Other explanation. The one picture of the suspect dragging him away. It's just under the arms, lying out for silly, the suspect dancing. Dragging the suspect away.
I got it! It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit.
Hiro.
We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around. And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Such a thing is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
So that's finishing up for no way to make dragging away, but is that really possible?
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, as you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, there's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Wait, can't bring shoot!
You dressed me up in that suit after I passed out! Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight!
You tried to make me look
Like I said, as you can see in the picture, if the person inside,
there's no way they could stand up straight.
No, it's wrong. No, Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that, because that Robo Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
Just on the waist. You cannot bend at the waist. Seen this again. Already.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake.
No.
I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate? Don't make me laugh, you idiot! What do you mean, checkmate? Celeste? Clearly! You want to cram me into your little guilty box? Well, there's one little problem. Have you already forgotten what Hifumi told us as he lay dying?
Because your name is Celeste Yasuhiro, not Gutenberg. They killed me, that's why I know my name, Yasuhiro.
When we asked him who had attacked him, his answer was quite clear, was it not? He said, and I quote, Yasuhiro. In other words, Yasuhiro Hagakure!
Wait, but my name isn't really Yasuhiro. It's actually Taro.
Your confusing statements don't make any sense. You're only making things more complicated.
He did say Yasuhiro, but are we sure he was really pointing the finger at Hiro?
What the hell are you talking about? I'll burn you alive!
That's a funny one she said there.
Kyoko, what do you mean by that?
Think back to how Hifumi used to talk to us. How did he refer to each of us?
He said people's last names.
I got it! That's right! Our last names! He called us all by our last names!
Exactly. I know I heard him say Mr. Naegi more than once, for example. So if Hifumi did mean to say Hiro's name, he would have said his last name, Hagakure.
I'm sure it was just incidental. By chance, his first name. Indecent?
Don't talk.
Random chance. Now isn't that a convenient explanation? No. There's no reason to think he would have said the name any different than normal. But he must have run out of energy before he could say any more.
So Hifumi was trying to tell us the last name of whoever killed him?
But the name he said doesn't apply to anyone here.
Well, no. Hold on. There's one person it could apply to, and that's Celeste. She never actually told us what her real name is.
What did you just say? To think you'd take your false accusation so far, I don't know whether to laugh or spit! Come on! Enough with your idiotic blather! Yasuhiro is a loser's name! Do I look like a loser to you?
Yeah, cause you just...
Do I? What? I think I've earned the right to be a little on edge.
Okay, then fill us in. What's your real name?
Make sure your ear holes are wide open and listen up! My real name is Celestia Ludenberg. Could you please stop making me repeat myself over and over again?
Celeste won't give up. I do something to make her accept us.
Hifumi was trying to tell us something. He wanted us to know the killer's last name.
If there's one person here who might...
It would have to be you, Celeste. You haven't told...
How many times have I? Celestia Ludenberg, God!
How long do you plan to go on pretend?
I'm not pretending. And since you have no way to contradict me...
Unbook
No, it's wrong!
Show us her!
That's it! The handbook!
What?
Anytime you turn your handbook on, it shows the owner's name when it boots up, right? Monokuma told us all about it before.
Ain't a in black and white things. You already know the name going on.
So all we have to do is check her handbook, and that'll clear up everything. That's how we can find out Celeste's real name.
That's an invasion of privacy. I refuse to cooperate.
Celeste, can you please just tell us what really happened, please? Just tell us.
Even when I'm put in check, it's just my nature not to give up. Because until the game's over, you never know what might happen.
Fine then. Let me settle it. Let me go over the case again, from the beginning, and shed light on all your crimes. And that'll bring everything to an end.
Forgot about this. Right, met up a key for me. Crowded balls? That's kind of oh, that's him pushing the dolly.
Exactly what happened.
Reenact.
Before anything, the killer persuaded someone to help carry out the murder. And that person was... Hifumi. With an accomplice, the killer was able to execute a number of otherwise impossible schemes. First, they convinced someone to meet them in the rec room last night at 1 in the morning. That someone they met with was Hiro. The murderous duo intended to pass Hiro off as the prime suspect. So when they met up with him, they drugged him, knocked him out, and stuffed him into the Robo Justice suit.
If we get all this in one, I'm so happy.
Next, Hifumi positioned himself to make it look like Robo Justice was attacking him, while the killer used a digital camera to take pictures of the assault. They did all this just to create evidence that would put the suspicion on Hiro. When they were done with him, they shoved him, still unconscious, into the pool room locker. The killer is you! And then finally, at 6 a.m., they moved into the murder phase of their plan. They called Taka to the equipment room. And that's where Hifumi killed him, making it the scene of the first murder. The murder weapon was Justice Hammer 4, which was left there in the equipment room. The reason Hammer number 4 was used was to create confusion about the order of the crimes. So, next they falsified 2 more assault incidents. For these attacks, the killers pretended to be the victims, to solidify Robo Justice as the suspect. The first fake incident was the attack in the rec room. There, the killers wanted us to see Justice Hammer 1 and the Robo Justice pictures they'd taken. They wanted to make sure we bought the surprise attack store. The second fake incident was the attack in the library. This time, they planted Justice Hammer 2 and an injured Hifumi to sell us that store. With these 2 incidents, the killers were able to create a certain preconception in our mind that the suspect was increasing the size of the hammers and attacking people in order as they did. We fell right into their trap and started looking for the suspect based on that. But while we did that, we left Hifumi alone in the nurse's office. This was exactly what Hifumi was hoping for. He took a blood packet from the refrigerator and Justice Hammer and turned the room into a crime scene in which he himself had a He let out a scream to draw us back, and when we returned... Meanwhile, the other group that had been out searching found... So when we heard the body discovery announcement, we left the nurse's office. He simply got up and made his escape. When we learned his body had disappeared, we all knew once again Hifumi had the chance he was waiting for. This time... He wrapped Taka's body in the tarp and used the dolly. That explains how each of the bodies disappeared. But even Hifumi didn't know what the true killer had. Their plan all along was to kill Hifumi and get rid of the one, and they did it using an ordinary, everyday hammer. From that should cover everything that happened in this case. And the villain behind it all is...
Celestia Hiro! Hurry up, my god.
Celeste! Sorry, you lose.
Lost? When was the last time I was forced to utter such words? They hang heavy around my neck.
Then you admit it? You're the killer?
Listen to you, trying to take charge, as if I, Celestia, good Kyoko, Yasuhiro is fine.
Kyoko?
So, you finally accepted it.
I'm the kind of person, once I've lost, I don't like things to drag on.
Interesting.
Cool. Boom. Got it. I got one of them wrong as well, so I'm cool with that. Points. Cool. 103. Nice.
Okay, Monokuma. I'm ready to begin. Or, I suppose this is the end, isn't it?
Indeed.
It is indeed the moment we've all been
Alright, time to vote. You can't save here, can you? Oh. Well, I'm not gonna do that right now.
waiting for. Time to vote, okay? If you would, please locate your lever and cast, and when the votes are tallied, will you make the
Objective round one. That's obvious who we're all gonna vote for, so. Guilty. It's basically a foreman at this point, but once again, you're totally correct. Black, and this time, true killer device stinging scheme was Silverberg, or most precisely, Kyoko.
Honestly,
I lost. Well, that sucks. I guess trying to work with someone else was a mistake after all. Hifuni's ineptitude was beyond all my calculations.
I knew it.
So you really did approach me with this plan, but how did you get him to agree? I can't imagine he would have happily agreed to be murdered. I'm sure she relied on her specialty lying. My specialty, don't make me laugh. I didn't have to lie to you.
So then,
Then did you use, you know? I knew you'd figure it out, Kyoko. You're absolutely right. To get Hifumi to act as my accomplice,
indeed.
I used her. For everyone who's still left, I'll avoid mentioning it by name, but it was the one thing Hifumi and Taka were both super into. Oh god, of course. Not her. Him. Does she mean... She's talking about alter ego? Oh, I totally forgot she took alter ego.
Say what?
What? What are you talking about?
just a second.
Don't interrupt. We're in the middle of a very important conversation here. Julia, rude as usual.
In other words,
Then you're the one that stole it.
Indeed.
That's right.
I
You
see.
used it to try to keep me into the plan you've come up with. Right again. Last night, after we had our meeting about how it disappeared, I paid Hifumi a little visit. What are you doing here?
Actually,
I was hoping I could talk to you alone. It is about what was stolen. I know who did it.
what? Are you okay with this?
He stole it.
So then,
Would you like to see it? As it turned out, I'd found a use for the digital camera. I'd taken you-know-what to Taka's room earlier and took pictures of it there. I deleted the picture as soon as I'd shown it to Hifumi, of course.
Damnation!
So it was him! But how did he do it? She was supposed to yell if either of us got close to her. You are correct, which is why Taka forced me to see this.
Say what? Girl, wait!
as for
Please
me,
forgive me. He threatened me.
Oh,
He did?
as for
He
me,
came to my room last night unannounced, and then it's hard for me to even say. He abused me.
what?
What? And he took pictures. With what? He said if I did not do as he asked, he would show them to everyone. What could he have taken pictures with? We know that's the only camera there, and the dude falls for it. So I had no choice.
Damnation!
That's a crime! An absolute crime! I knew he'd gone a little crazy, but
Say what?
I never imagined he would go that far! It was amazing how completely he bought it. I can't express how enjoyable that was. I'm about to say something I never said before in my life. I'm going to kill him! I'm going to fucking kill him! Oh! Wow, they actually do have fucking in the PlayStation 1. Alright, fair enough.
most
I know PlayStation
unfortunate.
usually cuts out stuff like that or anything. Wait, please. If you go now, you'll be playing right into his hands. Huh? Taka
Actually,
is planning to use her to escape. And he has made you his target.
What?
Escape? You don't mean Taka is going to try to kill you.
Indeed.
And also he can keep her to himself. That bastard!
This completely unforgivable!
Honestly.
Can we allow him to continue with his barbaric acts? Absolutely not. How could I? She...
I swear
have to save her.
will save her!
Actually,
How would you like to join with me? It just so happens I have come up with a plan. Huh? I advise a way to reclaim what he has stolen and escape this dreadful school. And with that, it is complete. Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, nothing. What a bitch. Hifumi agreed with a second thought. The effect that item had on him was remarkable. The power of love, even a love as twisted as that, can still drive people mad, it would seem. You disgust me.
I see.
I have another question for you. Was that strange costume Hifumi's creation?
indeed.
Yeah. It was a real pain in the butt too. All I asked him to do was make something to hide the face and general body size. I had no idea he'd make something like that. But it's my fault for picking him in the first place.
But
So, why did you decide to make me the suspect? Because you're stupid. That's it? Oh, God.
Let's see.
And in that regard, I made the right choice. I'm so glad your stupidity surpassed my every expectation. Life must have been tough on your parents, though. I feel like I could cry.
Well,
But when you're explaining your plan to Hifumi, how did you explain the part about him playing dead? Well, she's asking, what was Hifumi supposed to do after that? Assuming you would actually listen to it.
Are you okay with this?
After he did his part and pretended to be dead, when someone showed up, I told him to say he'd been seriously wounded, he was on the verge of death, but he just barely held on. And you really believe this? But of course. That wasn't all there was to it. As I explained to Hifumi, the plan was, while you were all questioning him about what had happened to him, I was going to murder someone else. At that point, Hifumi would have an alibi, so nobody could doubt him. I told him that, and he believed it. It all seemed very straightforward, stereotypical. I just matched the lie to the level of equality. In fact, he believed the lie wholeheartedly, right up until the moment of his death.
so in the end,
You planned to kill him all along. But of course, there would have been no point to my plan if the one who pretended to be dead did not end up dead himself.
What the heck?
How can human life mean so little to you?
Well,
That's a non-issue. I simply did everything in my power to win.
don't be mean!
Now you sound like Byakuya!
I wonder about
No,
that.
he derives his pleasure from the thrill of the hunt. In that aspect, we are nothing alike.
Why?
Then what made you take him this far?
What the heck?
Was it really just for money? Are you talking about the $10 million Monokuma offered us? That is a lot of money, it's true. But that's not all there is to it. From the moment our new life here began, my only thought has been escape.
But
all you would say to how we have to accept living here. Oh, see, that was a lie!
Hey!
I couldn't take it. I hated it from day one. More than anyone else in here.
You little
All I wanted to
bitch.
get every day. I wanted to get every day was fresh torture. And do you want to know why, huh?
This is fine.
Because I have a dream. When accepting a life here would have meant nothing less than giving up on my dream forever.
Honestly.
And there was no way that I could ever do that. In the underground world of gambling, I risked my life to make a metaphorical killing.
As for me,
And it was all for that dream. What was the dream of yours?
isn't it wonderful?
To live in a European castle. A castle? And to gather handsome men from all over the world to serve as my butlers / bodyguards. I was going to make them dress up like vampires and satisfy my every need. Once I obtained that, I would have created a perfectly aesthetic world of a decadence.
This is fine.
Living the rest of my life there was my only dream, my only goal. That's what life is all about! Is it now? Okay. Combined with my own winnings, Monokuma's $10 million would have made that dream a reality. I got right to the edge, but
There is nothing to be
unfortunately
done.
my dream has been scattered to the wind. Still, I don't have any regrets. I pursued my dream till the very end, so why would I?
Just the
You
worst.
sound so passionate, but are you really able to kill your own friends first?
Oh,
Are you asking me to feel guilty? That's a pointless endeavor. Freaking fly! I think nothing of sacrificing others for my own ends. I feel nothing.
do you
That's all there
understand?
is. That's all there is to me. That's what makes me complete. Isn't it terrifying how different our values are? There's simply no room for understanding.
What is this?
That's what we should be saying. And plus, how can you be so calm? Don't you realize you're about to die? Why aren't you scared? My ability to lie is unrivaled, and I take pride in it. It's not just other people. I can even feel my own emotions. I consciously see the unconscious. And that's why you're not scared?
Yes,
That's
indeed.
right. I don't fear death. Kill me however you like. You know, I could be reincarnated. If I had a choice, then
Isn't it
I think I
wonderful?
would like to come back as Marie Antoinette. You're not going to come back as a person who
Hey,
you just get executed again. And that. She was just trying to get out of this. Yes. Celeste smiled then, and when she did, it looked to me like a poor effort to force it. She claimed she could fool her own feelings, but that statement itself must have been her final lie. And that weak, fake smile is what betrayed her.
Chills! Chills!
You all done?
Chills!
Okay, then let's get rolling! The Black disturb the peace and must pay the price!
Now then,
Now
I've
then.
prepared a very special punishment!
For her, the ultimate gambler!
Let's give it everything we've got!
It's
punishment time!
I guess I'll let Kyoko hold on to this. What? Will it really give you the hope you're looking for? I can't say I ever saw it that way. Which is why... Actually, it's not important.
That's it.
Well then, take care, everyone.
She was always my favorite character.
Perhaps we'll meet again. In another life.
That's why I was hoping she would never die. Always annoys me. Well, should get to die around the castle at least. The burning of the Versailles. I don't even know if I said that right. I doubt it. Burn, baby, burn. Just go and burn out. That's gotta be a horrible way to go. That's a load of horrible ways to die and everything, but... Also, let me know, who is your favorite Danganronpa character, by the way? Whether they be dead or alive? Mine just got killed. I do think it's really cool the way they've done all that. All the executions. I always love the art for that. It's over. Their execution is over. Celeste's death is over. Celeste killed my friends, so I can't pity her, but I also can't deny that at one point I considered her a friend too. And for him to just come along and... Isn't it just awful? Someone couldn't cut free of their regrets from the outside world, and so more people had to die.
Extreme!
You guys are still young! You need to place more value on your lives!
What are you gonna
Jeez,
do?
and here I thought you guys were gonna pass the torch of hope to the next generation.
Let me out of
Let me out
here!
here about hope. I'll throw it in the trash if you just let me out of here.
Too bad.
You're all the embodiment of hope, whether you like it or not. And it's my destiny to knock you down one by one. It's sad, yes it is, but that reality just can't be avoided. Don't talk like you're not responsible. How long are you gonna make us keep going through this? What do you want from us?
How strange.
Gosh, I'm so sick of people asking me that. Give it a rest already. So, anyway, Kyoko, did I see you get some kind of key type object from Celeste?
Hey!
So,
hey!
what's the deal with that?
What?
Huh? What's the matter?
So then,
I'll answer your question if you answer mine.
you...
What did you do? What did you do to me?
Ooh.
What?
Hey,
Answer me. What did you do to my body?
Ooh. How exciting.
Oh man. Oh jeez. Oh man. Oh jeez. What do you mean? What did I do? I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. What was that just now? The mastermind did something to Kyuko's body? What does that mean?
Hello.
Okay, things are getting kinda awkward. I think it's about time I got out of here.
Well,
Meanwhile, you guys can go on enjoying your school life. If you get lonely, give me a shout. Not that I'll do anything about it, of course.
see ya
Woo!
later.
See ya! Monokuma disappeared, leaving us all depressed and in despair. Although it wasn't all despair. There was one small hope. Hey Kyoko, Monokuma already mentioned it, but was that key what's that key that Celeste gave you? Oh my god, dense.
so...
Most likely it's the key to one of the dressing room lockers.
Huh?
What? Then that means Celeste probably hid it in there.
Hey,
I suppose sometimes it's easiest to miss what's right beneath your nose. Well then, we better go check.
Indeed.
Good idea. We left the courtroom and rushed to the dressing room. As we approached the dressing room, Kyoko looked back at us and said,
Hey.
I'm going to go on alone from here. Everyone else, head to the dining hall. I'll check in with you later.
What?
Why exactly are you going alone? You're thick, because he'll see all of you going in together.
So-
Like he has all the time. Do you even have to ask? As she spoke, she glanced quickly at the surveillance camera.
Come on.
That's not what I mean. Why you? Because she has the key to... There's still a risk of a spy, you know. Then I'll go too.
What?
You, please let me go. Standing here arguing is just going to draw more attention to us.
Goodbye.
Do whatever you want. Well, you're the one I've been spy the whole time. Maybe you're the spy. Thank you, Byakuya. Up yours, Byakuya. Like, Makoto, grows back.
Well
back.
then.
Oh, God, man. Then it's up to you, man.
Yo!
I'm gonna go to the diner, okay? Huh? So Makoto and Kyoko are gonna go together? Does that mean what I think it means?
Okay.
Good luck, Makoto. Girls like her are total pushovers when you show a little backbone. I try to forget what Hina said. Everyone headed to the dining hall, leaving me Kyoko there alone.
Shall we go?
Well, shall we? Yep.
So then,
We need to get into that locker. Kyoko took the key to Celeste and given her and unlocked the locker. locker swung open, we saw...
You really came.
Good morning! It's been a while, hasn't it? It's safe, thank goodness. I'd never heard Kyoko sound so relieved. It was like she was speaking from the bottom of her heart. I did just what Celeste asked. I didn't say a word, I stayed quiet the entire time. And I think I might be able to open the last set of files soon, maybe as early as tomorrow. I'm doing my best, so please wait just a while longer. So now we can officially say the case is closed. As far as this incident is concerned, sure, but can we take a second to have this opportunity? I want you to be honest with me. Kyoko, please tell me, what are you trying to do all on your own here at the school? Is that why you want to come here with me?
However...
Regardless, that's not something you need to know right now. I don't need to know? That just makes me even more worried.
What?
Worried? Like what happened during the investigation this time. You disappeared and we didn't see you again. Without warning, without explanation. When you do that...
Indeed.
It's only natural that they think that I am the mastermind spy, right? And you too. No! I believe in you.
What?
You believe in me? Isn't it obvious? People believe in their friends, right? That's what I want you to tell me. And I want you to believe in me too. Because we're friends. We're best of friends! I understand.
It's true.
Then maybe I can believe in you. Just a little bit more. Then...
That's fine.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you why I've been disappearing and where I've been going. You see, what I heard from Kyoko then was... Well, frankly, it kind of blew my mind. Right after I told Kyoko I believe in her, she told me a story that was, well, almost unbelievable. I decided I had to confirm what she told me with my own two eyes, so I waited for nighttime to come. Oh, God, man. And when it did, I went into action. The second floor. I'm an idiot.
Correct.
The boys' bathroom on the second floor doesn't have surveillance camera or monitor in it. And in the storage closet there, way in the back. She said it was way in the back of the boys' bathroom storage closet, but could Kyoko really be right about this? I wonder what happens, like, let's see what happens if you just don't, like, if you pick a different room. What Kyoko told me about, I have to see it for myself. It's way in the back of the boys' bathroom. I want to see if there's anybody else about. Or if anything happens. I don't think you can actually die in the game at all. Oh, my heart's racing like hell's in the case. No, it's fine. Because it is a rule that they set for themselves. Nothing else. It's just a normal storage closet as far as I can tell. So Kyoko told me about, could it really be hidden here? She said it was way in the back of the storage closet, but I mean, seriously? Without thinking, I placed my hand on the back of the storage closet, and suddenly, as if I were being yanked in, gashunk! At the same time as I heard that sound, I fell through the wall. I had no idea what was going on. Boom! I had fallen through the back of the storage closet. Huh? It turned out, the back wall was like a revolving door, and I'd made my way to the other side. Just like Kyoko had said.
Correct.
In the boys' bathroom on the second floor, there's a storage closet. And in the back of that closet, there's a secret room. So, this is the secret room. But what's in here? All the files and everything. Yeah, hey! Anything else? It's just a normal desk with normal drawers. There's a bunch of files and what look like volume after volume of years books. They're all covered in dust. Looking at everything, one file at the edge of the bookshelf caught my eye. Posting Academy student registry. This is the only thing in here not covered in dust. Has someone been looking at it recently? I slipped the file into my hand. Before I had a chance to look at it, God, a slip of paper fell out of the file and I turned my attention to it. You must not leave. What's this? You must not leave? That's kind of weird. I could understand if it said, like, I can't leave, but you must not leave. 3, 2, 1. What is this? My head feels funny. This strange sensation. It's like deja vu. Those words, you must not leave. I've seen them somewhere before, but I can't quite remember. What do I know? What don't I know? It's Rey Mysterio! What fucking dumbass. Why do it at nighttime? Like, and up to that bathroom. Toilet, whatever. A strange sound rang out through my head. It felt like it was shaking my brain back and forth. And then, darkness. I don't understand what's happening. I don't know what started it. It's all over. And with that, I opened my eyes. I didn't know how long it had been, but everything was fucking gone because you're a fucking idiot. Ow. Apparently something hit me and I lost consciousness. That's all I understood. The dull, throbbing pain in my head proved that much at least. What a freaking moron. Like, an empty bookshelf. Huh. Empty. Gone. It's all gone. The earbuds, student registry, and even the note that had fallen on the floor. It's all gone. What does this mean? But my brain refused to do any more work. The instant pain in my head began to spread across the rest of my body. For now, I should go back to my room, get some rest. I'm waiting for Kyoko to wake up in the morning to kick her ass. My body was heavy with pain, my mind heavy with thought. I dragged myself back toward my room. Somehow I made it back to the first floor on the school. The further I walked, the more I felt things are getting blurry. Can't see in front of me. I couldn't stop myself from collapsing right there. And after that, as if from a vast distance I heard a sound. It was faint but undeniable. Ah, that sound. I know what it is now. It's coming from the gym. I remember as I desperately hauled my shaky frame toward the gym, the sound got stronger and stronger. Crack, ga, ga, ga. What's going on? It can't be nothing. Here in the gym. I didn't make a sound as I opened the door to the gym. The sounds coming from inside, meanwhile, only intensified that much more. Kacha! Baku! Hagakigo! Hiya! Pachin! Kyo! Da! Sha 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 sha! Sakura versus Monokuma! Before me there, race a battle beyond anything humanly possible. One side to you, not human, that's for sure. But regardless, I couldn't stop staring. I forgot to move or breathe.
Why, you? What do you think you're doing? I asked you a question. What's the meaning of this? How dare you defy me? This wasn't part of the deal!
The deal?
I've made a decision. I will no longer retreat, no longer compromise, no longer regret. I've made my decision. I'm going to resist you.
Okay. But you do realize what will happen if you go through with this, right? You haven't forgotten, have you? What I'm holding hostage?
What am I looking at? What am I hearing? A hostage? then could it be Mastermind Spy is Sakura Origami? The next generation legend. Stand tall, galactic hero. The end. Origami's on last name. Way. To be continued. Oh. You receive the Super Robo Disneyland! Oh my god! Yay! Good for you! 3's a crowd. Awesome. Finish out a tree. Alright. 3, not tree. Yes, I want to save. And to be fair, I actually got Danganronpa on the PlayStation because I was like, yeah, getting the trophies would be easy for this. Nah, I don't think so. Beyond kill, let's say, it would be easy, just take a lot of time to get it. Especially when they have like a long ass job. Leon killed Sayaka. Monokuma killed Junko. Then Leon got executed. Then Mano killed Chihiro. And then he got executed. Hifumi killed Taka. Then Celeste killed Hifumi. Then she got executed. And that brings us up to now. The next morning in the dining hall, the day after Celeste's case. So now there's only 5 of us here. A third of the number of people we started with.
Indeed.
Willingness has become commonplace. That's true. Still, what did I see yesterday? I don't understand. Sakura is the mastermind spy? Can that really be true? Dakota, are you okay? No, I'm fine. Can't be up in front of the others. If I did that, it would just confuse everyone that much more. Okay, in that case, let's eat till we pass out.
Huh?
What do you mean, in that case? Well, look how scary everyone looks. It's gotta be because you're all fighting on empty stomachs, right? If you fill your belly, I'm sure you'll all cheer up, so let's eat. Let's fry up some fish and donuts and eat till we can't stand up. Fish. What? That's like a deep impact cell! Meteor impact, extinction level, and then combination of foods. Huh? What? Those are bold breakfast. Flying top sellers. Still, the till we can't stand up part is important. After we're done, we need to go explore.
I see.
That's right, since the class trial is over, new areas should have opened up.
It's true.
Plus, we still have Alter Ego. We don't have to give into despair just yet. She's right. We have to plan ahead and think about the future.
You got it!
Yeah. Think happy thoughts, not deathy thoughts.
You know?
Like we're gonna get out of here, right?
For
This
serious.
is all over. I think I want to get reborn for serious. Reborn as somewhat serious.
Well...
Hey, are you okay? That sounds like something someone who's about to die would say. Yeah, I'm totally okay. There's no yeah in there. We'll do it in anyway. I'm not gonna die. Why? Because there aren't gonna be any more murders. What makes you so sure?
According to the
I
spirits...
predicted it last night, since it revealed itself to me from the ether. There's no doubt about it.
However,
How accurate is the forecast? Will tell you anyway.
How about that?
Usually hit 20 or 30% on a good day. That seems really low.
It's not like some occult mystery.
It's not like TSP or whatever. Of course, I'm only going to get it right sometimes.
The occult is
Told you,
bullcrap.
fortune telling isn't like some occult thing.
So,
Fortune telling isn't the cult?
You got it
Of
all
course
wrong.
not. Clairvoyance is clairvoyance. Don't put it in the same category as cattle mutilation.
Huh?
Cattle what?
So,
It's referring to the urban legend where aliens abduct cows and dissect them as part of their research.
Actually,
No, you're calling it an urban legend? As a matter of fact, it's true. As a matter of fact, it happened to me. It all happened one day when I went to go get a hamburger. It was a place I'd never been to before. They claimed their patties were 100% all beef. So I got a burger to go and headed home.
but
Before long,
the end is
the
nigh.
sky was filled with mysterious blinding light.
Some crazy beam came out of nowhere and locked onto my hamburger. And as soon as the beam touched it, the burger started floating in midair. And then... still floating there. The entire burger started coming apart. One part of it just vanished, while the rest fell back into my hand. Do you realize what that means? It means the burger wasn't 100% beef. It must have had some pork or something mixed in. Something like 70% pork and 30% beef would be my guess. You can't trick me.
So I stormed back into the burger place and got out of the manager's grill and they totally admitted it. It wasn't 100% beef. They totally mixed in ground pork with it.
How about that?
Now do you see? That is calculation. I kind of got lost halfway through that. I can't tell if you're for the occult or against it. You stink of stupidity.
Don't be mean!
I stink of... How dare you! Well, you do stink of. That's fine. That's fine? Anyway. I hope your prediction turns out to be true. Well, at the very least, I won't murder anyone.
Yeah!
Me either. I mean, I would never.
Of course.
Me either.
Indeed.
Nor I. But for me too, of course. I could never kill any of my friends. I felt like those words of encouragement were helping us come together as one. After so much sacrifice and hardship, we'd finally become united. But,
Well,
to be honest, I wish Byakuya and Toko were here for this too.
But
they're so hard to deal with, they only think about themselves. Yeah, we're better off without them, I say. That was enough to prove we were united for the time being, but within that bond hid weakness and fragility. Chapter 4 All-Star Apologies. We began our search as soon as we finished our breakfast in the dining hall. We had to find out what had opened up and what was waiting for us. Woo! Man, that was a long one. It was so long that this is about 2 or 3 days later after I recorded it on the Monday night. Because as you can see, I am spinning. I didn't automatically just like magically change my chair into this. I now have a proper good gaming chair. So I'm not breaking my spine like this. That one cool. So yeah. We're in chapter 4, it's getting interesting. If you don't know who, and if someone else does get murdered, who do you think would it be? Out of the 7 that are left, will it be Toko, Byakuya, Sakura, Makoto, Kyoko, Hiro, and Asahina. 7. Which of these 7 are gonna die next, if any? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Give a like, subscribe if you haven't, of course. That's it for me, BJB. I will see you later.